I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
It's the Riverdale After Show. We are back from hiatus. It's 2020. I have a co-host. Let's do this. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Riverdale After Show, breaking down all the craziness that's happening with those teens in Riverdale every single Wednesday night on the CW. I'm Frank Moran. Joined, finally, I know you loved Ryan and I's bantering back and forth for weeks on end, and you've been incredibly patient and supportive during all that. But we now have another person joining the panel. It's Katie Kawamoto, everybody!
Hi,
Look at this. You from the Batgirl After Show, from the
Yeah.
Con Guy Show, the Popcorn
Yes.
Talk Network.
Yes.
Look at that. She heard that there was a Riverdale opening. We sent the Riverdale signal into the sky, and Katie said, you know what? I've got a lot of Riverdale t-shirts.
Yeah.
I should be doing the show.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, hey, I can wear them on a show. All right, we're good. So, yeah.
So, Katie, as you're new to the panel and new to all these great viewers here, I know they're going to be excited to hear all your thoughts, but you've been watching it from the beginning.
Yes, correct.
Encapsulate your feelings about Riverdale, if you may.
I mean, I like a good teen drama as much as anybody else does, I guess. But I think I originally wanted to watch it because of Cole Sprouse, and that's why I watched it, because it's like, I watched him on Disney Channel and stuff like that. And then I just got really into it. It was an interesting take on Archie comics, so I did like that. I kind of fell off for a little while in season 3, but I'm back. We're good. I caught up, and we're good.
Right.
We're back in it. I feel like I got pulled back in, so... Yeah.
So you were a huge Sweet Life fan, is what you're saying.
I mean, I was a huge Disney Channel fan, so yeah, I did watch Sweet Life. I've watched a couple of the things that they've done outside of that realm since they came back, because I know his brother was in another Netflix movie. I watched that, so it's been interesting to see, like, the, whenever you see child actors in something, you always want to see how they go into adult roles.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's not an adult role because obviously he's a teenager, but it's always interesting to see how they're gonna make that transition. So yeah. And I like mysteries and yeah.
Did you see his film 5 Feet Apart?
I did not see that one. I want to see it. But
I'm worrying about your true Cole Sprouse allegiance there.
I just didn't get around to it, unfortunately. I'll see it eventually, though. Okay.
Now it's Katie and myself, as always. Though, making us look good and sound even better. We've got Ryan in the booth. Look at that, looking handsome.
Can't see me quite yet, but I'm happy we have another member in our Riverdale community. So happy to see Katie here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and as always, folks, you know what? Like us on Facebook. Give us those 5 stars on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Katie's got her laptop up and running, which means that chat is up and running.
Yeah.
You folks, according to Katie, have been there for like almost 2 hours
Yeah,
almost.
a couple hours been talking.
Just they can't get enough of the Riverdale.
Yeah.
So we're going to break down this episode here. We'll do a little news and gossip, and of course, we'll always do our. Now we can return to an old segment, special segment, Class President, Class Clown. There you go. But before we break in the episode in detail, Katie, we're back from the winter hiatus. First episode back. What did you think overall?
Overall, honestly, as far as a mid-season premiere goes, I was a little underwhelmed. You came off a big cliffhanger at the end, and we didn't really have anything to do with that, which I think is obviously the big reveal at the end of the season. But I just felt like, and I also put a lot into it. It was really hard to follow how much they were trying to cram into one episode. So I'd say I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10.
All right.
I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. So.
All right. I'll go with you there. I mean, I don't know if I could say anything better than that myself. Yeah, I guess I'll go with the 6 out of 10.
Okay.
I'll do that. So, of course, though, Katie, the big thing is Spirit Week.
Yes.
Spirit Week's happening at Riverdale High. We got to get excited because there's a big football game coming out at the end of the week against Stonewall Prep Stallions.
Yeah.
What was your high school's mascot?
Bulldogs.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
So
I know,
already,
right?
you're in the tank for Riverdale already.
I know.
Yes.
I didn't even think about that till you just asked that question. Like, wait, that was my mascot too. So, well, that was college. My bad. That was college.
Oh, well, still. All right,
Yeah.
we'll give that. But high school? What was high school?
Golden Eagles.
Oh, that's a pretty cool
So,
one.
yeah.
All right. Did you actually have somebody dressed in an eagle costume at football games?
I only went to one football game. So I do not remember.
Well, you beat me. I didn't go to any football games in high school. We were the porter, though. Yeah.
All
Which
right.
is basically just a ship that would help other ships get through a canal through our town.
That's an
And they-
interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
So not really a great mascot. You didn't have anybody dressed up like a giant ship and trying to pull somebody along. We didn't do that at our high school. We should have. What a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But it is Spirit Week, and so everybody's getting excited here. And Archie, of course, is tinged with a little bit of sadness because it's his last Spirit Week, senior year. I mean, I guess it's like the beginning of all those last firsts that you're going to be doing. Oh, it's our last Spirit Week. It's going to be our last prom, our last whatever, our last spring formal. So you start getting I guess that sense of melancholy starts coming in during your senior year. Did you find that, or were you ready to go? You're like, get me the heck out of the school. I'm ready to go to college.
I actually hadn't really thought about that in the sense of that whole, you actually are seeing the high school experience more in this episode than we've really seen in a while. So I guess like until you just mentioned it right now, I hadn't even thought about that. I did feel like it was a little bit weird just in the sense that because we don't see that, I guess I didn't think about it. If that makes sense. So that was a weird way to phrase that. So I'm sorry.
But but I agree with you because given everything that these teenagers go through on a weekly basis and a season by season basis, when they do just a high school focused episode, you're thinking, well, Archie wrestled a bear and was living out in the woods last year. He was in a juvie hall and he was in a fight club. So it does make it seem where it's like when Mary grounds him later in this episode, I'm like, okay.
Has that ever happened before?
It's like, all right.
Like, I didn't know that was a word in Riverdale.
It's like, I've been in juvie, Mom.
Yeah.
Your grounding means nothing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but Archie did give it at least the head roll back to at least make it seem like in the moment it was important. Like, oh, I've lost my car privileges.
I think it's mostly the car privileges. I think that's probably, he's like, oh, okay. Right. Nothing else is going to change, but I can't use my car.
So we also have Jughead. He is getting ready to interview. He gets a surprise interview at Yale.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Before we talk more about Jughead's storyline, though, I want to ask you real quick. Jughead's been our runner throughout the course of the season. Something happens to Jughead, and we've been teased with it throughout the course of this season. Are you enjoying the mystery of what's happened to Jughead and the implications to the rest of our core characters?
That storyline has me stressed out just because I do love Jughead's character and I like the way they're taking his character this year with showing that he is better than Riverdale is giving him the opportunity to. I love that storyline. It is just stressing me out about this whole he's going to die or he died. I'm going to do quotes for a reason, but and so it's honestly like the whole episode, it doesn't talk about it at all. And then finally they find that one little teaser at the end. And then it's like 1 month now. Because before this whole time, it kind of, like, I don't know the time frame that it was from the mid-season finale to this. But it's got to be a few months. Because they had just started school at the end of last mid-season, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's escalating faster. But it honestly, I don't know how to feel about it. Because I'm one of those people that when I have a favorite character, because I will say he is my favorite character, when they do something to threaten my favorite character, I instantly can't stop watching because I want to know what happens, but at the same time, I hate it. If it makes, it just...
Yeah, because I'm wondering just about Stonewall Prep in and of itself.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it was made to seem like there's something mysterious happening at the school. We had Jughead's original teacher throw himself out the window and kill himself. We had the mystery of, oh, wait, did his grandfather have his book idea stolen from him by DuPont? And this whole legacy of his was taken from him. But it seems like that has kind of course corrected itself. As where DuPont is actually now seeming, while he was like, I'm going to get you're a disgrace, you're just like your grandfather, to now kind of supporting him and setting him up to get that interview with Yale. I'm wondering exactly what the Stonewall Prep agenda is.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that statement because no one is as they seem anywhere in Riverdale show, let alone we bring in all these new characters that we don't trust. We don't know anything about them. And it did go from that, I don't know, and all of a sudden he's being nice to him and it's sketchy.
And he gets a new laptop.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
Yeah. Brett just gives him a new
Yeah.
laptop. And I'm like, oh, because you're not part of the Skull and Quill. That's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. So there's definitely sketchy stuff going on. I mean, at the end of the very episode, you see Brett with Betty, and that was ominous.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
So we do find out that Jughead, of course, Brett gets him a new laptop
Mm-hmm.
because he's part of the club now. But he also has to do one last part of the initiation to fully become a member. And that is you go down to the basement and you have to share a secret that's going to be recorded so it can go into the record, the official Skull and Quill record. I've seen this trope too many times that, Katie, please tell me in real life, if you were, people ask you like, hey, you can join our secret society or a club or whatever it may be. All you have to do, though, is tell us a deep, dark secret about you. Would you do that?
No. But also, I don't even know that and normal people wouldn't have all these deep, dark secrets. I mean, I don't want to say normal. I should rephrase that. But most people are not going to all have a big, dark secret like they do. All these people in Riverdale have dark secrets because Riverdale is like a Gotham City type place where everybody has a secret. But I definitely wouldn't. No. I'd feel like, bye. I don't need to be a part of this. I'm going to take that as my cue to just leave. That would be my reaction.
Because I feel like if they want me to share, I mean, at one, depending on, I guess, what I thought, and this is really callous of me, like, oh, what it could get me if I was still in this club, I would probably just make up some sort of lie. So that way, whenever down the road, when they're like, we're going to blackmail you if you leave us, like, it was a lie anyway, guys.
Yeah.
It's fine. It doesn't really count. They also decide, like, hey, just to make sure you don't think we're just trying to scam you, we're going to tell our secrets first. Which I did like. It only ended up being 2 of the members, and then Jughead went like, "Wait, what about the ones that we never really hear about in the course of the series?"
They're not important, right?
So we get to hear what happened to the girl who I can never remember her name, and Brett shares his story, and then Jughead says, "All right, well, I guess I can grab the skull and share mine." And he shares a story that we've never heard before, and he says, "I've never shared about watching when he was homeless." This guy, Doc, who watched over everybody, he ended up getting pretty much beat to death by a drunk businessman, and Jughead just sat there and watched.
Yeah. I mean, that is dark.
Yes.
But compared to what we know of Jughead and his history with the serpents, was that really his darkest story? I feel like it's not. I think he maybe just said something else because he didn't want to say any of his really dark stuff.
True. I mean, yeah, because, I guess... the stuff he did with the serpents when he got rid of the lawyer.
Yeah.
Got the tattoo cut off her arm and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems a little bit creepier than just like watching a man. Well, not that watching a man beat to death is like, no, we're not saying that at all. But yeah, it's hard. I guess it's hard to feel invested in a story that we've never heard of before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, he's surely sharing this really dark secret, and we know about it because we've seen him do this.
Yeah. I expected it to be a story we knew, the audience knew, and it wasn't. So that I agree with that point. Like, you're going way back. Like, when was that? Before you were a serpent? I mean, you've always been a serpent because of your dad, but yeah.
So I feel like the idea that this is going to be used against him at some later point in the season, I don't think that's going to be played up because it doesn't seem that big of a deal as of right now.
No.
But does a scene like that, does it engender any sympathy towards Brett and the other member of the Skull and Quill? Hearing their tragic secrets?
No.
All right. You're a cold person. I like it, Kitty.
I think it's just because we already know that they're these terrible people.
Yeah.
And so their stories were like, I mean, at one point you want to be like, maybe that's why they're the way they are today, but I don't necessarily believe you can blame something like a traumatic event on you being a bad person later on in life. But if that makes sense.
But his dad was going to kill him. For real. For real.
We don't know his dad.
No, that's true. We never met his dad.
We know he has the diplomatic immunity.
Yes.
So obviously he's used to using that to his advantage, but it wouldn't be surprising if he is the way he is because his dad is. But like I said, without knowing his dad, we don't know for sure if he's making up something or if his dad is genuinely dangerous. Like, I can't think of his name right now. Reggie's best friend. I'm just blanking on his name right now. his dad when he was beating him. Like we saw that. We knew he was a bad guy. We don't know anything about Brett's dad.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
One thing we do know about the course of this episode, though, about Brett, and we've known it before, is that he's not above to do whatever he thinks is necessary to get what he wants.
Yes.
And in this case, since it's Stonewall Prep against the Riverdale Bulldogs football game, he's captain of the football team. And what we find out is that Stonewall Prep, they play dirty. They hurt people. They will and they pay off the refs to make sure that they can get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Betty, of course, is tasked with writing a story this week about the football team. And once she hears this, though, she's like, wait, this sounds like a much more intriguing story to find out all the shenanigans that Stonewall Prep's going on. And she tries her best to get any sort of evidence.
Yeah.
Which I can understand. I mean, I guess if you're tasked by the principal to do a story, I mean, if you feel like it's a puff piece, you got to try to find something to make you interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
But she's unable to get it. She can't. She almost gets that.
Yeah.
Gets that detail, and then Jughead blows it up for her.
Yeah.
Because we see, as Jughead and Betty refer to it as the classic B&V, which is, it has been a while since we've seen them kind of team up to do anything together, which necessarily wasn't really about either of them personally, but it was just more about Betty chasing a story. So I was kind of enjoying that. It wasn't like the stakes weren't like, oh, yeah, I'm in a jam or you're in a jam and we're doing this to save it. It was just like, I need help with the story. Can you get me some evidence?
Yeah, I liked that too. It's more of a best friends working together versus we have this other person. We haven't, and I like that dynamic when you see any of them investigating a story, but that's not necessarily them having to go on doing this story so they can do this and this and this. It's nice. I liked it.
Yeah. The one person who doesn't like it, though, is the principal. He's like, you're giving me a story full of hearsay. This is the story I asked you to write. What are you going to do? And Betty at least acquiesces and decides, all right, I'll write you the story you want. But Stonewall Prep has a quiz team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we should put together a quiz team and take them on. Have you ever been part of a quiz team?
No.
Would you want to be a part of one? Are you good with trivia?
I'm good with certain trivia.
Give me your window. All right.
Anything that has to do with dates or really specific details about certain events, like it's gonna be really hard for me. If it's about movies, if it's about TV, if it's about music, things like that, I'm okay with, but not as much. Like more pop culture, I'm okay with, but other stuff, it's kind of hard for me. Like I can answer math questions, but I could not tell you specific dates of things.
So if you went to a quiz match,
yes,
and they said, you know what, the category for this one is Riverdale, you're like, all right, guys, just follow my lead. I've got us.
I think I'd do okay, yeah. Probably the only person in the quiz team that would know that.
That's
but,
true. We've been studying world history, American government.
But, yeah. I can answer questions about Riverdale.
That's true. Every person on the team's got to have their specialty.
Yeah.
So yes, there you go.
Yeah. The amount of knowledge you have to do those quiz teams is just something that blows my mind every single time. Every time I watch Jeopardy, anytime I watch something where you have to know all this stuff about so many different topics, my brain can only hold so much information when it comes to details like that. So.
But I wonder, like, what, and school me in the chat, please, everybody. I welcome that. For people that get like on a quiz team in high school, like I guess, does that help you get a scholarship? Because I'm thinking if you play sports
I think you can.
academics, you can get that. But being on a quiz team, does that?
I mean, decathlon and speech and all those things you can get scholarships or at least grants for. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised if that's also what Betty's thinking of as too is, she doesn't have money for college. So if they can beat this and she has that on her record, then it's going to help. Because usually anything academic like that, there's some sort of scholarship or grant for.
Well, speaking of college, though, for Betty,
yes,
we do find out that she did not get, she got passed on by Yale.
Yes.
Jughead gets that interview from Yale and does bring it up with her. And she's cool with it. She says, hey, just because I didn't get in doesn't mean that you shouldn't get that opportunity as well. Would you be so forgiving if his significant other had gotten into a college that you had desperately wanted to get into? Would you be cool? Like, I can't believe you're going there and I'm not.
I think I'd be okay with it. I think there's a lot of factors in a situation like that. It's going to be the factors of, oh, what's it going to mean for our relationship? What's it going to mean like distance-wise, things like that. I think it's also it would play a part into what school I got into versus what school they got into. Like if you're going to a community college and they're going to an Ivy League school, there's probably going to be resentment and it could put a strain on it. But I think it's honestly case-by-case basis. I don't think anything is black and white in that situation. I think in Betty's situation, she genuinely does mean, like, go do what's best for you because we know that she supports Jughead. But I don't know that she always thinks of things, like, step by step. She thinks of what's going on now and then maybe doesn't even think about how much that might affect her in the future. She's more of an in-the-moment type person.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think in the moment like that as much as Betty does.
What I did like, at least with Jughead's interview, is that we always kind of see when things kind of opportunities present themselves. He always tries to play too cool and kind of have that, that's like I did like kind of that detachment from it. Mm-hmm. And I did like he starts off with that with the Yale interviewer.
Yeah.
And then once the Yale interviewer just kind of names checks like, oh, you're obviously got an influence from this. Jughead being recognized for his writing kind of perks up, and I like that he kind of got invested in the interview.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see Jughead actually get excited about talking to somebody about his writing and the possibilities for his future.
Yeah.
Like, all right, nice, Jughead. Let's, take that chip off your shoulder for a second and just, be excited about the possibilities.
Yeah. So, and he is, because we've always seen him, so far with the season, his dad having to tell him, like, you're going to go to Stonewall, and Betty being like, you need to do this, you need to do that. So it is nice to see him being able to kind of be more on his own and more independent, because we haven't seen that a lot by him. It's always been, his choices have always been dictated by something else. So
I never interviewed for a college. I mean, I went to college, but I never interviewed. Did you interview?
I don't think so. I just did like the acceptance, like, like the letter where you send in. I don't even think my college had a letter that you had to, like a essay. I don't even think they had an essay. I went to a state university, so I think I just turned in my application. Yeah. And that was it. I
said, please. Just take me, please.
I mean, I also had a grant to that university, too, so I don't know if that helped. Definitely from the quiz team. Yes. Yeah. No.
Oh, all right. That's great. I'm glad that worked out. I mean, I guess maybe it's just the Ivy League schools where I guess the acceptance rate is so low. I guess perhaps the one-on-one interviews.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. I mean, does anybody in our chat go to an Ivy League school and know the information about this? Because both of us are not completely lost when it comes to the acceptance. Like, I just know what people have said on other things or other places, but I did not apply to any Ivy League schools. So
no, neither did I.
Theater major. So
there's theater at Yale.
Yeah, I know.
And Harvard. And
I didn't want to take any more tests. That's why I didn't go to a nice, like, one of those schools. So.
Well, if you're looking for another career, you could do like Veronica is, and she's trying to get into the rum business.
Yes.
Desperately trying to destroy her father and his rum business by starting her own competing one, bringing him down to ruin, and then just be able to stand triumphantly over him. This storyline bugs the heck out of me.
Yes.
Before I get into my issues, how are you feeling about Veronica's burgeoning rum empire storyline?
So I wrote some notes on this because there's some things just really do not track. First of all, how did she figure out how to make rum within months? Like, doesn't it take a long time to make rum, for one? I don't know if anybody knows how to make rum again. But also, she's in high school producing liquor. Anybody else tracking what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure first of all, she can't legally drink it. So, that they don't care about that in Riverdale, but she can't legally drink it. But is there rules about producing alcohol when you're under 21? There has to be, right? I
mean, or at least very much like when she's trying to sell it
to
these adult buyers.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
That's what's throwing me off about this, and how fast she was able to create this rum. I mean, it's only been a few months. So it's weird. I don't know how I feel about it. I was thinking when she was in college she would do it. I didn't think she meant right now.
Yeah.
So, it's throwing me a little bit.
Well, I mean, because it's so... I mean, I'm not going to say that drinking doesn't happen in high school at all, but it's still treated with... Nobody is just so brazen about it, and it just feels... There's like a layer of almost brazenness about it. Like, it's a Le Bon Nuit. We just got our alcohol in here, and there's... Reggie and Veronica trying this rum. Like, you guys are, 17? What? You guys are just chilling out, just swigging and rum. What's going on here, guys? So it just seems weird. That was one of my biggest issues about the storyline is that she's a minor.
Yeah.
As far as we know, she hasn't turned 18 yet.
Yeah.
So why are we trying to buy alcohol from this woman?
We're on the same page on
that. But Hiram does come in with a cease and desist.
Yes.
Saying, even though you put some spices in it and make it a spiced rum, the core essence of this rum is still compatible with what mine is. So if you continue to pursue this, I'm going to slap you down with this and you're not going to go anywhere. Which I feel like Veronica, not playing it smart. Like, do you think just adding some spices into a rum is going to change it enough for you to be able to sell it?
I mean, I'm glad they touched on that.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, she literally spent maybe 2 months making her rum. And if she's never made it before, there's going to be some sort of trial and error. You can't just... So that, in that way, it did show her age. It did show that she doesn't know what she's doing. So I was a little happy that they did that because, not so smart.
Yeah.
You can't just throw a couple extra ingredients in it and think that he's not going to... He has everything planned out. Like, he's going to be on her to make sure that she's not doing what he doesn't want her to do.
Oh, of course.
She has to be one step ahead of him like she usually is, and right now she's not one step ahead of him.
All right, because I know that early in the season, they had that episode where they're all having one-on-ones with the counselor.
Yes.
And basically the counselor was telling her, it's like, you guys are in a death spiral between you and your dad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you really don't want to be separated from your dad because you still live with him. It's like, what if you were so dead set of kind of charting your own path and being done with your father, you'd move out, grab your own place. And she doesn't do that. Do you think that Veronica truly wants to get out of this relationship with her father? Or she truly does love him and she's looking for some sort of attention, even as weird as it is?
I think she doesn't think that she's trying. I think what she thinks in her brain is not what she's doing. Because she acts like she doesn't want him to be a part of her life. She doesn't want him to give her attention. She doesn't want him to give her this pushback. But if he didn't do that, I don't know if she would still be acting the same way she is. Because they're in this dance. It's like this dance between father and daughter where you say you want one thing, but maybe you're saying that but not actually acting out on it.
Yeah.
So I don't think she knows how to do stuff where she's not doing it because of spite, where she's not doing stuff because of this. Like it or not, he's the reason you are the way you are. You can't really avoid that. So you can say one thing, but your actions are going to prove otherwise.
Well, one action she takes with the instigation of Reggie is like, hey, if you want to get back your dad, I know just the way to do it. And we find out that she and Reggie key his car and then just stick a bottle of the Luna rum in the gas tank. What is that? What are you doing?
I mean, keying your car, yeah, all right. No one likes getting their car keyed anyway, but yeah, the bottle of rum in the tank, it's like, what's that mean? You haven't won. What's that supposed to prove?
No. It's like, great, you've made Hiram have to go to the body shop.
Yeah.
And who's to say that he's not going to press charges?
Yeah.
Because you've got this bottle of rum from an underage person that shouldn't be having rum.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why would you sign that? Why would you sign your crime? I mean,
why would you leave your calling card?
Yeah. It's not that Hiram would probably have to be. It wouldn't be too hard for him to kind of figure out who's keying my car, but yeah, when you stick an empty rum bottle.
Someone in the chat, Eternal Shockwave, said she's still in this dance with Hiram because of the look on her face. She wanted to work with Hiram, or so it seemed. So, interesting take. I like that one. I mean, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what she's really thinking. So
I mean, he does offer it, and when he does say I've gone straight like you wanted, have you, Hiram? Not really. You're still a shady dude.
Yeah.
And so even if Veronica said, all right, I'll work with you, it'd be only a matter of time before Hiram would do something shady that Veronica would be like, I'm out again.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, just cut the cord now. But you got to move out. You got to move out, Veronica. Well, though at the end of the episode, she realizes, hey, wait a second. I know a way we can get around this pesky cease and desist order.
Yeah.
Let's hang out with my good pal, Cheryl Blossom.
Yes.
Who's got a maple empire. And it's almost their Reese's Peanut Butter Cup moment. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, your rum is in my maple. Your maple's in my rum. Oh, this tastes so delicious. I don't know from the shot that she gave her. Is this supposed to be a drink or something you're gonna pour over your pancakes? I couldn't quite tell what their end result for this thing is.
It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know what she was exact. Like, I don't know what they're trying to market it as at that point, because it's like you're trying to market your own mixed drink or something that's pre-made. Like, that one was a little bit lost on me. So I mean, obviously, that is a good partnership if you think about it, because they're both wanting the money that's not their family's money and doing their own way with it. So I totally can understand why she would team up with Cheryl. But yeah, it was a little bit difficult. I was like, are you going to make syrup that's infused with rum?
And I don't know if that truly gets around the cease and desist, because
I don't. That's what I'm wondering too.
Yeah, if the core component of that rum is still Hiram's, he didn't give his permission to be able to use that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, maybe it's different because syrup is an actual ingredient and spices are just something you add to it, and they're not. I don't know what exactly that is, but I feel like that is still gonna run into the same issue.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my recipe. You just added syrup.
Speaking of Cheryl Blossom, as we wrap over the storylines this week, we get to see her struggle with getting control of the Vixens.
Yes.
And for having that episode that they call back to again with the school counselor, with Cheryl like being frustrated that she was going to have the Vixens taken away from her, but it would just be a small amount of time, and she could focus on herself. That now that Cheryl's like, nope, you know what? I'm fine, and these Vixens belong to me. So I didn't really dig the storyline at all with Cheryl and locking the new gym cheerleading coach in her office.
There is just too many pieces going on right now. So that's why when I said a 7 out of 10, that's one reason why, is that it was like 8 different things going on in this one episode. I have no idea how many it is. It's just a guesstimate. And yeah, we know Cheryl's not going to be okay with being the head girl. Like, we already get that. But yeah, I just kind of felt you had at least one too many little storylines. Could you have waited maybe to not have it this week, or maybe introduce it another time, because it was too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So.
And we also feel like, real quick, Mad Dog gets injured, but Uncle Frank gives him some pills.
Yes.
Are we going to have to face the Mad Dog addiction storyline now? I'm hooked on the pills, Archie.
Someone in the chat said something about it's Riverdale, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I think they said it well, and I don't remember who it was who said that, so I apologize, but I did see that comment, and I agree with that. You never know. You think you've seen it all, and Riverdale proves you wrong. So I know they've proved me wrong many times with the whole thinking you've seen the weirdest episode, and then something happens and ticks that off the list.
That's right. There's always a new level.
Yeah.
Folks, it's time to do a little Class President, Class Clown. Thank you, Ryan. Where we nominate the best and we impeach the worst. So who, for you, is your Class President and Class Clown this week?
Okay. My favorite in this episode, but there was very little of everybody. Honestly, I think I might go with Archie, just in the sense that you're seeing him own up to some of the stuff he's done, and you're also seeing him try to be more of a leader, in the sense that he was trying to take care of Mad Dog. He's trying to do that. So I did like Archie in this episode.
All right.
Class Clown, my least favorite. I don't like Brett. I know he wasn't like a class clown, but I just don't like him. And I'm not gonna. That's hard on this one, because there was so little of everybody. I'm just gonna go with Brett, because I don't buy what he's selling.
He's a skeevy dude.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna go Class President. I can see what you're saying about Archie, and I could agree with those points. But I'm gonna go with Jughead. Because I just like the sense that he was getting excited and invested, and decided to embrace the possibility about his future.
Yeah.
So I like that. My class clown, and we've already talked about it enough, but it is Veronica and that rum. That storyline drives me crazy.
That's a valid point. I don't know why I didn't even think about
What's going on?
Yeah.
But feel free to chime away in the chat or comment down below if you've watched After We Stream Live about who your class president.
Logan
class
Knight
clown
said
is.
class president was Archie for punching Brett. Class clown is Frank for giving Mad Dog the drugs.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I mean, he wanted to win the game. The Notre Dame interview was on the line.
Yeah.
All right, but Katie, let me turn it over to you for some hot news and gossip.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So it was announced on an article on Deadline that Cole Sprouse is to star in and produce an 8-episode, 30-minute thriller, but it's in podcast form. Written and created by Rebecca Klingel, who is one of the writers on Haunting of Hill House. It's debuting in April, and it will follow Sam Walker, whose parents move him and his sister to the mountain town of Drisking, Missouri. His sister suddenly disappears, and Sam becomes obsessed with untangling of the local lore. So, Investigative sounds very similar to what
Yes.
Jughead is. And then Camila and Lily were both at the SAG Awards, which I believe were this last weekend.
Yeah, they were.
And so there's some pictures, if Ryan's able to throw them up. There's Camila. I love her dress, but yeah, there's some pictures of them on the red carpet at SAG Awards. And it also got some buzz because she took a selfie with some of the girls from Stranger Things. So it has people wanting a Stranger Things Riverdale crossover,
Yep. Okay.
which would be interesting.
Sure, that'll happen, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our news. But I love a good red carpet photo and seeing them all out in their normal, non-dark Riverdale personas.
I mean, the best place you could probably see a Archie Stranger Things crossover is over in the comic books, because I mean,
Yeah.
they can do that. In fact, they just wrapped up a Archie versus Predator miniseries.
Yeah.
So
But although you do have Sabrina on Netflix too, so I don't know, maybe.
yeah.
It's possible. Anything's possible, right? It's Riverdale.
that is very true. Katie, as we get ready to wrap up here, do you have any predictions for next week? Or even what you'd want to see for the rest of the season?
Okay, obviously, Jughead's not dead.
Oh, yes, that's right. You've got a theory for this.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear
My
this.
theory is we have a lot of sketchy people from Stonewall. Someone, somehow, is trying to say he's dead, but I feel like the other Riverdale people are smarter than them, and they framed his death, made it look like he's dead or something, and they're playing another game with the people from Stonewall, if that makes sense. They're not framing his death, staging his death. Sorry, that's the word. So I don't think he's dead.
I can agree with you on that, but I don't know. I'm thinking that Jughead feels the need that he's got to do this without his friends knowing, because he knows that they wouldn't be able to keep the secret. Because I feel like we've seen too many scenes of them reacting by themselves that they think
true.
this is real, without us thinking that, maybe people from Stonewall Prep are watching us. I don't think this people from Stonewall Prep followed you out into the woods to watch you burn his beanie.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's probably done this to help save the day, but by not letting his friends in on the loop. And then when he reveals that, hey, no, I'm still alive, I did this for good reasons, but they're like, but you didn't trust us. So
Ooh.
Betty's going to go like, I thought you could trust me. Now we're breaking up for reals this time.
So you think he's staging his death?
I think he's staging his death for some reason that he thinks is for the greater good,
Yes.
but it's going to, of course, cost him when he does reveal. He'll save the day, but also at a personal cost.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds right.
All right.
I like that prediction. Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, Katie, how'd you feel about your first Riverdale after show?
It was fun. I'm excited to be back next week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
Yes.
that said, do you want me to just go into where people can
Go
find
for it.
me?
Yeah, where can they
Alright,
find
okay.
you, Katie?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at KT_Christine. I'm pretty active on both of those platforms. You can also find me on the Batwoman After Show on Sunday nights at 10:10 and the Con Guy Show Mondays over on Popcorn Talk Network, also at 10:10 p.m.
Folks, as always, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up while you're there, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. Again, big shout out to Ryan for making everything run so smoothly there. Ryan, I know you've got a bazillion things happening in your life.
Gazillion.
I'm sorry, it's been even increased since last I talked with you. Where can everybody find you to keep up to date with all the cool stuff you do?
Well, Frank, people can find me every Thursday, 4 p.m. on the Popcorn Talk Network for Star Wars news, and producing the Con Guys with Katie every Monday night, 10 p.m. PST at Popcorn Talk. Thank you so much for watching Box Office Breakdown this Sunday.
Oh, look at you. What a nice shout out to that. Folks, thanks for joining us here for the Riverdale After Show. You know, we're going to come back next Wednesday. Should we do it?
Yep. Yeah, sounds
Why
good.
not? All
See
right.
you guys next week.
That's right. Join us right here next Wednesday night on an all-new Riverdale After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.